Welcome to the College Essay Advisors podcast, an ongoing exploration of how to write admissions essays that get you noticed and accepted. Hi, my name is Stacey Brooke, and I'm the founder and chief advisor at College Essay Advisors.
My name is Becca Myers, and I am the director of advising at College Essay Advisors.
And today we're going to talk to you about some questions you can ask related to how to choose a college essay advisor.
We all know that parents and students are looking online, you're getting referrals. How do you know that a person is not just experienced and competent, but a good fit for you? So we're going to go through a handful of questions.
Perfect. So the first question that makes sense to ask is, what is your background? And generally speaking, I think you're looking for someone who has extensive experience working on college essays specifically, someone who has read hundreds, thousands of these essays and has a little bit of a bank in their memory of what's been done, what's been overdone, and just has a really thorough understanding of the landscape and how it's changed over the years. And I think it also helps to have someone who has experience with teenagers, engaging with that particular demographic, and also someone who has a little bit of a creative bent, someone who has storytelling abilities. I think whether or not you have admissions experience feels much less important to me. Just because you can recognize what a good admissions essay is doesn't mean you know how to take someone through the process of creating one. Similarly, I don't think Ivy League education matters, even though that's huge in the marketing for some companies. Just because you're smart, just because you've graduated from an esteemed university, does not equip you with the skills to do this very, very specific, this sort of niche task with a student.
Yeah. So that's background and experience. The next question you might want to ask is, what are your ethical standards? Because different advisors have different takes on how much emphasis is put on product versus process. So you want to go into it understanding how much call time, face-to-face time will your child have with the advisor, how much free writing is involved, how much drafting, how much will the advisor edit, how much will the advisor try to reconstruct or write parts of it on their own. Hopefully you have high ethical standards that involve wanting your child to take ownership of this process with expertise, with the guidance of expertise. But that's a question that you really need to have the person answer. In many ways, I think it's the most important question, because
Absolutely.
Yeah. This isn't just about getting into college. It should also be about what you're learning from this experience and why it's being
Absolutely.
asked of you, and what you're hoping your child will take away from it. Yeah.
Most definitely. And I think it probably goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. You want someone to work with your child who's going to want to encourage your child to be as involved as possible, empower them um, to be the creator of their own work. And I think that's an important lesson to take with you through the college experience as well. So I think just ensuring you're working with someone whose plan is not to do something for your child, but to give them guidance and help them do the job better themselves is really what you're looking for.
I like the idea of empowering, not overshadowing, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What are your training methods is something else you might want to ask. I think just to ensure that an organization or a person has training methods for people that work for them or with them, and that they're not just kind of hiring people and allowing them to go rogue. So making sure that that there's some actual plan to how an advisor is going to work with your child, and that it's not sort of a made up process on the spot. Obviously, I think adaptation of the process to different students' needs is super important, and an advisor's ability to do that is, a real boon. But I think having an underlying process that's time tested is pretty critical.
And then the final question is really the question you ask yourself. Does it feel like a good fit, right? If you've gone through the other questions and you're checking them off and everything sounds good. It's a good on paper, but there's something about the advisor that might not mesh well with your child. That's important to note. And it's not necessarily a reflection on the advisor, right? We all meet
Hmm.
people in our day-to-day lives and they're great, but there's just something off about how we vibe, how we
Yes.
communicate,
This
how
is
that
entirely vibes
person,
related.
it's advisor related. Yeah, yeah. Vibes. It's about how your child also will perceive that person and how
Mhm.
well they work together. Some people have different communication styles. Maybe your
Yeah.
child would benefit from a little more emotional support. Maybe your child loves directness, right? Maybe your child prefers to have longer conversations about their hobbies before they start writing. You got to figure out what it is that feels like the vibe is on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is really just about trusting your gut. You have a conversation, someone gives you the concrete information you're looking for, and then I mean it's not so dissimilar from an admissions officer reading an essay and saying, "I like this person." Like, do you like the person that you're talking to? Do you trust them? Do you feel confident in their ability to guide your child through the process at hand? If the answer is yes, then hire them. Do it.
Yeah.
That's the advice that we have to give you today. Those are the questions you should ask. In fact, if you're interested in asking us those questions, because we do have answers to all of those questions, and you're feeling like you're looking for some one-on-one services for your child, feel free to give us a call, and we're happy to give you the rundown. But otherwise, we're wishing you best of luck in your search for the perfect advisor. And if you have any other questions for us, let us know. If you want us to make episodes about anything else, put it in the comments. We always love to hear from you, and we can't wait to talk to you again very soon.